Sono moglie italiana. No, in pagina era bellissimo.
Bene.
Se ambienterebbe qualcosa in un edificio unico come la Mole Antonelliana.
Well, sure. Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I said. I've never been. I've been to, Rome, Venice, and other places in Italy, but here, and I've always heard about it. I've heard people, I know a couple of people are from here, and then I saw this building, and I go, wow, I can't believe I've never been there before, because being so close and all. But, no, like I said, I just got here, so I haven't really experienced it yet, but I experienced a lot from just being in here. And like I said, I visited like the museum that's in LA that they just opened up, but they could learn a lot from here because it's very inviting, even though it's grand and kind of oppressive, big, there's something that's what you've done inside is very inviting, and it really invites you into the world of art or cinema, and that's a very powerful thing to have here.
Quali elementi della realtà contemporanea stimolano di più la sua immaginazione?
Everything, I mean, you try to, that's why, in this world, it's important to just sometimes look out the window or just look at the wind blowing, whatever, something, that's where you get your inspirations. When, you have time to think or just observe something or just experience life, and those are the times where ideas and things come.
Il suo immaginario fantastico, il suo mondo stravagante e dark sono frutto della sua creatività. Pensa che l'intelligenza artificiale, questa è una domanda molto attuale, rischi di penalizzare il cinema d'autore, un cinema visionario come il suo?
Well, I mean, it's strange because obviously all of this stuff is like anything. It can be used for good or evil. I mean, every technology can be positive or negative. And I think this is how. I mean, I had a thing where an AI did a version of what my versions of Disney characters would be. So it was all created by AI. And when I saw it, it was very disturbing because it was almost like somebody taking a piece of your soul out of your body. It was a very strange feeling. And some of them were very good, but it sort of took something away from me, and it took something that it wasn't an intellectual thought, I just found it very disturbing. Especially when you see it happen to you, then it becomes more real and more disturbing.
Ha raccontato i suoi mondi e forse anche se stesso attraverso film, disegni, invenzioni spettacolari, e questa mostra ne è un esempio. Ora è in preparazione una serie di documentari sulla sua vita diretta da Tara Wood. In che modo sta collaborando a questo progetto e perché ha deciso di lasciarsi raccontare dall'esterno?
Well, me? No, I don't. I hate looking at myself. That's why I'm like a vampire. Even in my house, I put covers up the mirrors. I don't like pictures of myself. I don't have any real involvement with it. Because to let them do it.
C'è una storia, un film, qualcosa che non ha ancora raccontato, vorrebbe raccontare?
Well, I mean, I always have lots of ideas, and you can see in the exhibit there's some things that became films, something animation, some things don't become anything, it's drawings, but there's always something. Sometimes, maybe not right for a certain time, maybe 5 years later, maybe 10 years later, it becomes more of a feeling that's an idea that has some resonance. There's nothing specific. I think there's lots of things, though. I mean, things, for instance, sometimes like a project, say like Nightmare Before Christmas, that took 10 years before it even went to production, so lots of times you have an idea and it sort of lies dormant for a while and it can come out again. So So I think there's lots of ideas, but nothing specific.
Qual è la molla che oggi la spinge ad affrontare nuovi progetti?
Well, I mean, the whole industry has changed, so things changed. First of all, before COVID, they thought of streaming, you know, there was going to be no more movies, there was all going to be television, and, you know, so there's all that kind of doom talk going on. But luckily, it feels like people still love cinema, and so that's beautiful. All the predictions of it going away and TV taking over, I don't think are accurate. So I do believe that there's something very primal and beautiful about film that people still love, and that's something that should be, you know, nurtured.
Una volta che questa mostra viene allestita in uno spazio non convenzionale, ci piacerebbe sapere che effetto le fa vederla allestita.
Well, it's an unconventional show in an unconventional place, which is beautiful. You know, it's actually the reason why I wanted to come here was when I saw pictures. I've never been here before, but when I saw pictures of the building, it just felt so exciting to me to exhibit this here, because it feeds into the sort of feeling of the way the work was created, just sort of rambling around, looking at things, wandering through an old beautiful building and just looking at things. So for me, it's one of the most exciting venues and shows that I've had for the whole time.
Thank you. Citava prima il direttore la mostra, la sezione dedicata agli outsider, ai reietti incompresi. A questo proposito lei ha spesso detto di essere più volte morto e risorto in carriera, all'interno di un'industria poco abituata ad accettare outsider e personalità originali come la sua. Oggi il suo status di autore è confermato da pubblico e critica. Che rapporto ha con il consenso e soprattutto con il rischio del consenso, ossia di assecondare ciò che gli altri si aspettano da lei?
Well, I mean, I've always been fairly lucky to be able to do kind of what I wanted to do. You know, even though they didn't understand me, I was lucky enough to have some success. So therefore, that kind of gives you sort of license to keep moving along. But look, I always felt the same way, and even when you have success or whatever, you still have those feelings that you had when you were younger or a teenager. That those feelings of feeling like different or outsiders. Well, a lot of people feel like that. So I think for me, it's just something that never really leaves you. So that's why I still respond to the same kind of characters and creatures, because that's how I feel. So that never leaves you.
Nella mostra si parla anche di uno dei suoi primi lavori animati, che è Vincent, il corto del 1982. Se guarda, ripensa ai suoi inizi, quanto si sente diverso e si sente diverso?
I didn't hear anything.
Non va la traduzione.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still feel the same way, even though even though I'm basically happy, I basically, function in society and live a life. But those things always stay with you, and that's the interesting thing. I always thought at some point it would go out of me and leave me, but those feelings stay forever.
Passiamo allora proprio dall'altra parte della sua filmografia. In questa mostra sono esposti alcuni disegni originali di Wednesday, la serie televisiva che veniva citata anche prima. Che cosa possiamo aspettarci dalla seconda stagione?
Well, there's been a strike, and we're waiting for things to hopefully resolve themselves, and then we'll start. I mean, I think the reason I did it, I just love that character, so I'm hoping that's the reason why I wanted to do it, and why I want to do a second season, because that character really spoke to me. I mean, when I first read it, I felt it was written for me, so even though I'm not, I felt kind of like that kind of disturbed teenage girl part of that was really, I wasn't really interested in doing an Addams Family thing per se, but that character was the one that really drew me.
C'è qualcosa nella mostra che vorrebbe condividere in particolare con il pubblico, un oggetto, un pezzo, un disegno?
Well, I mean, that's what I love about the way it's been presented here, because it really is in the spirit of the work. You know, there's so much stuff, and as you earlier, I think, indicated, you know, you walk in here, it's almost like going into a fun house. It's less of a museum than a weird, like, cool old fun house, and that's in the spirit of what the work is. So I feel like, not one thing in particular, it's just a combination of what the show is and what this place is that makes it so magical to me.
Allora, una delle sezioni della mostra, album, cast e troupe,